everyone, welcome to a tasting with Ryan and I for our Reserve Viognier. I'm Christine and I am the tasting room manager in the Woodinville location.
And my name's Ryan. I'm the assistant winemaker over here at Destiny Ridge.
So we're really glad that we don't get to do the tasting in person with you guys, but we're happy that we can at least bring a tasting virtually to you for now until we can all get back together again.
Yeah, it's very important. We miss you all. We wish you could see your faces, and I don't think it'll be too long before people will be in the tasting rooms and we'll be on our way back to normal. Yes. So, yes. This little virtual tasting, we're going to be going with Reserve Viognier first, and then we're going to do a Grenache. So yeah, here's the 2019 Reserve Viognier. And I think it's important to kind of like talk about our Viognier program here at ANC. We have our Crawford Viognier, and then we have the Reserve. Crawford's going to be a little bit higher production, whereas the Reserve, this one's limited to 330 cases, and it's pretty much strictly for our wine club. And Viognier is one of the grapes. We're basically a estate-grown winery, but we do source a couple, and Viognier is one of them. And one of the differences you'll see is our Crawford Viognier tends to have more of the Crawford Vineyards grapes in them. And then Reserve Viognier tends to have a little bit more, depending on the year, ANC fruit in it. And this is true in this one too. This is 100% Destiny Ridge, and it's 100% Viognier. We don't grow that much, but I think we're in the process of thinking about planting a little bit more, because Viognier is one of those grapes that tastes really good, and we're like a Rhone-centric brand. But it's typically hard to find. So we get people asking us all the time if we're willing to sell a little bit of our Viognier, but we hold it near and dear to our heart. And 2019 was a pretty interesting growing year for us, but in the white region, we were able to get them ripe early enough before the frost hit and did some of its damage. So these grapes came in really ripe, clean acidity due to the high heat days, and then cooler nights kind of retains the diurnal shift. So it came in really ripe, beautiful flavors. It's nice and tropical, but it still has like a laser line kind of clean acidity to help wash it down. Different stylistically between the Crawford and this Viognier. That's unstable. There we go. They're both stainless steel fermented, but this one is actually kept on the lees for longer. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, I think, in a second. But what we do is we'll keep it on the lees and then agitate it and stir them up. And that helps richen up the mouthfeel quite a bit. So it's a little bit more of an intensive process. So we make a little bit less, and it's strictly for the club members.
And Ryan, the surly, is that what kind of gives the creamy feel to it?
So what surly does here is when the yeast have ran their life cycle and they're done converting the sugar into alcohol, we would typically settle them, and then using just cold temperatures, and then rack the clean wine off. But with this lot, what we do is keep those lees, which are the spent yeast hulls, on the bottom, and then we'll mix them up. And as they break down, you get releases of different enzymes and glycerol, which helps with the mouthfeel and the richness. Sometimes perceived as a hint of sweetness, but it just makes for a pretty pleasant wine, easy to drink, very food friendly. And with the acidity there kind of running throughout it, it makes it refreshing without being like cloyingly sweet.
Yes.
Any more questions about that one?
I don't think so. For me, this one, the last couple of years, I've saved it to Thanksgiving, and I think it's a really good Thanksgiving wine. A little richer than the Crawford Viognier. I think it pairs well with both turkey dinner or your appetizers with your baked brie. I think it's just a fantastic wine. And we like to call Viognier Chardonnay's sexy sister. So
I like it. Yeah, that's the thing about Viognier too, is like when you first make it, you get a lot of the fruitiness jumps out at you, a little bit of floral, but people will age these wines too, and we've tried some here from like 2004. Within the last couple of years, they just changed a little more honeyed and almost dessert-esque, but they got a nice little amber, which is interesting. But so you can catch it at the fruity side, or you can catch it at the little more like honey characteristic side if you want to wait a couple years too. So, but you'll lose some of the acidity as you do that.
And is the reason that you can age this one because it is on a little bit of oak, or is it just because it's Viognier? Can that one always age?
No oak, and I wish I had a better answer to that, but it just has the, the balance of all the flavors to be able to do that. And I mean, it's a pretty complex wine. There's a lot going on in there. And if you have the balance of the acidity, it'll ride out on that for a little while, and you just start to lose the acid and the chemistry behind it, then it changes, and all of a sudden you're getting more mature flavors, really honey like driven, in my opinion. The last one I tried, but it was.
I'm gonna have to get a couple bottles of this, one to drink now, and then one to try to age to see.
There you go. There you go. Not a bad idea.
So if you're one of our wine club members who are lucky enough to be in the mix club, you will be getting one of these bottles of Reserve Viognier in your packet for June.